Welcome to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, CEO of Academia.edu, and it's such a pleasure to have you tuning in today. On this episode, we're exploring a really thought-provoking anthropological paper. Just a reminder, I'm here to discuss it neutrally, not to say that I agree or disagree with it, but to walk alongside you as we try to unpack and reflect on what the research offers us. So today's piece is Controlling the Reins, written by Myeshia Babers, a fascinating anthropologist who seriously delves deep into black masculinity and performance, specifically within the world of the American cowboy. Now, the central question Babers asks, well, I guess you could rephrase it as, what does it mean for black cowboys to control the reins, not just in the literal sense with horses, but as a metaphor for masculinity, history, and even identity in America? It's a big question with so many layers, and it's significant because for a long time, the image of the American cowboy we've collectively gotten has been, well, pretty limited, and yet black cowboys played and continue to play a huge role out west, but their stories and experiences haven't really gotten the spotlight. So, asking how these men navigate control, care, and masculinity, not just with horses, but in their own lives, matters, especially for those of us wondering how narratives shape our understanding of gender and race. Babers spent time from 2012 to 2014 among black-owned ranches and rodeos, literally in the field, observing and talking with black cowboys face to face, watching the details, the subtle routines, like preparing a horse, adjusting a bit, checking saddle stirrups, handling the reins, and just inhabiting that rhythm of control and care. And something that kind of jumped out at me, well, sorry, again, not endorsing, just observing, is this focus on masculinity as something practiced. It's not like a fixed thing you're born with, it's a process that happens day after day. The Cowboys Babers writes about they're constantly preparing physically and mentally to take control, not just for performance or show, but as an everyday ritual. So here's a key insight for listeners. When we talk about masculinity or control, Babers suggests it's not this blunt force kind of thing. It can also mean attentiveness and care. For example, after all the gear is checked and the horse is ready, there's this sense of pride and certainty in the cowboy's posture, command of the ranch, but also care for the animals. There's teamwork too, bringing in friends and family to help herd calves, direct animals, and sometimes prepare for rodeo events like calf roping. And something she really emphasizes is how these actions are layered with performance. Like, what does it look like when you're gentle with a wild horse, making it fit to be ridden by a novice or a little kid, or reuniting a lost lamb with its family? Those are acts of, I don't know, control, sure, but also like gentleness and community. She also brings up the historic role, how the cowboy served as a kind of border guard between rural and urban life. But, and this is interesting, black men in the United States, as Babers notes, historically had limited freedom of movement and control over their own mobility. So owning the reins, literally and figuratively, becomes powerful, a way to assert pride and presence in a space where that wasn't always a given. It's almost like each small act of preparing a horse or riding in a parade with flags waving is this, well, quiet assertion of dignity and selfhood. For listeners, maybe what's most tangible here is the idea that control in your own life doesn't have to look like domination. It can be routine, quiet, careful, and shared. And I think there's something kind of hopeful about letting go of rigid scripts for how we perform identity and trying to see the artistry or the method in how people move through their worlds. So whether you're a city dweller, someone who's never seen a horse, or, just curious about how culture shapes us, this paper nudges us to consider new angles. I gotta say, as a quick digression, when I read about the makeshift two-seater wagon with a cooler and a cigar-smoking driver, I kept picturing I don't know, a parade that's half urban block party, half Wild West rerun. That's probably my imagination running wild, but see, I told you, sometimes side thoughts just pop in and they're hard to shake off. But wrapping things up Remember, academic research like Babers isn't the final word on identity or masculinity. It's a set of observations and reflections that we can use as starting points, ways to see ourselves or our cultures with a bit more nuance. The stories of black cowboys, the rituals of preparation and pride, the everyday acts of control, they invite us to look again at who gets to shape history and who gets to ride out front. Thanks for being curious with me today. This has been In Depth with Academia, and I'm Richard Price, always here to walk through new ideas with you, never to tell you the answers. Keep exploring, keep reflecting, and don't forget that every perspective can add another piece to the larger, ever-changing puzzle. Until next time, take